Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into the Abundance Manifesto. This one, it's not about, those get-rich-quick schemes.
Right.
It's more about this idea of abundance as like a way of thinking, even a way of being
Yeah.
that can attract wealth and well-being.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating approach, I think. It flips the script on how we usually think about advice for success. Like, it focuses more on cultivating the right mindset than on hustling harder.
Hmm. I love that idea of cultivating a mindset.
Hmm.
It's like abundance is this garden we need to tend to. The book starts off strong with Manifesto 1, the voice of your mind.
Yeah.
And it makes this point that even our morning routine, those pre-coffee choices we make are revealing.
At first I was a little skeptical, but the
Well,
more I thought about it, the more I realized those, small decisions we make really reflect our deeper beliefs about abundance.
the book uses this analogy about the mind being an all-seeing eye that kind of guides our actions. If we're hitting snooze, feeling rushed, it's like our eye is already focused on lack.
Exactly. And it's not just about time either. It's about our energy opportunities, our sense of self-worth. Even the book argues that ungratefulness, that feeling of not having enough, can actually block abundance from coming in.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. It's like we're afraid to receive more than we think we deserve.
Mm.
What really struck me was the example of children.
Oh, yeah. Their gratitude for the simple things, right? A
Yeah.
warm bed, a meal, even just a hug from a parent. It's pure and unfiltered.
Makes you wonder where we lose that along the way.
Yeah.
I remember being thrilled to get a new pack of crayons as a kid. Now it's like, oh, another Amazon package.
That's a
Yeah.
perfect example of how our all-seeing eye can get clouded. The book tells the story about a woodcutter to illustrate this point.
Oh, the one who loses his axe in a lake.
Yes.
I loved that story.
It's so simple, yet so profound. He's honest and grateful even when facing hardship. And because of that attitude, he's rewarded beyond his wildest dreams.
It makes you think about how often we focus on what's missing instead of appreciating what we have.
Yeah.
So how do we retrain our all-seeing eye to spot abundance?
Well, I think it starts with awareness. Noticing those moments when we're slipping into scarcity thinking and consciously choosing gratitude instead.
So instead of groaning about the long commute, maybe I should be thankful I even have a job to commute to.
Exactly. It's about finding those little glimmers of abundance in everyday moments. Even something as simple as savoring a cup of coffee can be a practice in gratitude.
It's like shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have. Even if it's something small, that whole gratitude thing feels like a foundation, a starting point for attracting more abundance.
You're absolutely right. Gratitude is the seed. But sometimes we need a little more to get things growing. And that's where Manifesto 2 comes in.
Word to the abundance seeker, this one's all about the power of actually saying our goals out loud.
It's more than just thinking it. It's about declaring it to the universe. The book mentions the impact of group declarations at seminars and workshops.
I have to admit, I've always thought that was a little bit too woo-woo for me.
I get it. It can feel a little uncomfortable at first. But think about it this way. Vocalizing your goals takes them out of the realm of wishful thinking and makes them more real.
So it's like we're putting skin in the game by actually saying it out loud.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be a big public declaration either. Even whispering your goals to yourself can make a difference. What's important is breaking the silence and giving those desires a voice.
This reminds me of a friend who always downplayed her ambitions. She was talented, but afraid to even admit what she truly wanted.
And what happened?
She stayed stuck in a job she hated for years. It wasn't until she finally voiced her dreams to me that things started to change.
There's a real power in acknowledging our desires, even to ourselves. It's like we're giving ourselves permission to pursue them.
And in her case, that permission led to a huge shift. She quit her job, started freelancing, and eventually launched her own business.
That's inspiring. It's like that saying, a goal not written down is just a wish. But I think it goes even further. A goal not spoken is a wish in hiding.
It's like unlocking that hidden potential by giving it a voice.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got gratitude, we've got vocalization, but I have a feeling there's one more piece to this abundance puzzle.
Right, you're catching on quickly. We can't just sit around wishing and hoping for abundance to magically appear. We have to take action. And that's where Manifesto 3 comes in.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the Abundance Manifesto. It's amazing how these shifts in thinking can have such a ripple effect in our lives. I'm curious about this Manifesto 3. Take that step. It seems like it's all about bridging the gap between intention and action.
Yeah, it really is. And the book has this thought-provoking take on action, It suggests that maybe problems are actually opportunities in disguise.
So instead of seeing problems as roadblocks,
We should view them more like signposts, guiding us towards solutions, even unexpected ones.
I like that. It's about reframing those challenges as stepping stones on the path to abundance.
Yeah, the book uses this analogy of a problem being like a loyal, if sometimes annoying friend,
Yeah.
always pushing us to grow and learn. That's a funny way to think about it. But it makes sense. If everything was easy, would we really appreciate the good times?
Probably not. We'd become complacent, maybe even entitled. Remember your friend who quit her job with no backup plan?
Oh, yeah, that was a huge leap of faith.
Right.
But quitting that job was a problem she needed to solve. And by taking that risk, she opened up a world of possibilities she never knew existed.
It's like the book says, smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. We need those challenges to refine our skills, to discover our resilience.
So taking action, even when it's scary, is essential for allowing abundance to flow in. But there's this part of the book that really intrigued me. It goes beyond just personal abundance and talks about this interconnectedness of everything.
Yeah, that's one of the most powerful aspects of the book, I think. It's not just about accumulating wealth for ourselves. It's about recognizing that abundance is a shared resource. Almost like,
An ocean with enough for everyone.
precisely, it's constantly flowing, expanding, replenishing itself. But sometimes it feels like we're stuck in this tiny puddle, convinced there's not enough to go around. And how do we break free from that puddle mentality?
The book suggests that our perception of scarcity is often the limiting factor. It's like we're wearing blinders, blocking ourselves from seeing all the possibilities that surround us.
So it's not just about changing our thoughts, but also about expanding our awareness.
Right. And that includes becoming more aware of our connection to the world around us. The book talks about how even our smallest actions can have a ripple effect, creating positive change.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
But let's be real. There are times when things just feel really hard. We hit setbacks. We face challenges that seem impossible to overcome. How do we stay connected to that abundance mindset during those tough times?
That's when our mindset is most crucial, I think. The book acknowledges that life has its ups and downs.
Why
We will face storms, but it's how we navigate those storms that determines our success.
So instead of letting challenges derail us,
We can choose to view them as opportunities for growth.
it's like developing this inner strength and flexibility, this resilience that helps us bounce back from those inevitable setbacks.
Exactly. It's about holding on to that faith even when the path ahead seems uncertain.
And that faith can be fueled by our connection to something larger than ourselves, whether it's our community nature or a sense of spirituality.
Absolutely. It's about tapping into those sources of support that remind us we're not alone in this journey.
The book uses this wonderful analogy of life being like a garden.
Oh, yes, I love the garden analogy. It so perfectly captures the ebb and flow of abundance. Just like a garden, our lives have seasons, times of growth and abundance, and times of dormancy and pruning.
And those times of pruning, while they may feel uncomfortable, are actually essential for our overall growth. They help us let go of what no longer serves us to make space for new possibilities.
It's a reminder that even when things feel difficult, there's a purpose to the process. It's all part of a larger cycle of growth and renewal.
So even amidst those challenges, we can find a sense of peace, knowing that there's a reason for what we're going through. It's about trusting that we're being guided towards something better, even if we can't see it yet.
Trusting the process. Absolutely. But the book also emphasizes that we have a role to play in this. We're not just passive bystanders.
So it's not enough to just sit back and wait for abundance to fall into our laps. We have to be active participants in creating it.
Exactly. The book encourages us to become conscious creators of our reality, to embrace our power, to shape our lives and the world around us.
We're not just gardeners tending to our own little plots. We're also co-creators of this vast and interconnected garden of abundance.
It's a beautiful way to think about it. And it reminds us that abundance isn't a finite resource to be hoarded, but rather a limitless potential that's available to everyone.
It's not about competing for a slice of the pie. It's about expanding the pie for everyone to enjoy. Welcome back to our deep dive into the Abundance Manifesto. I'm really starting to see how this whole idea of abundance, it's more than just money or material things. It's about a whole way of being in the world.
Yeah, it really is. And the book, it doesn't shy away from exploring the spiritual dimension of abundance. It dives into this idea that abundance isn't something we attract, but rather something we already possess.
So it's not about getting more, but about tapping into what's already there.
Yeah.
Almost like we've had this wellspring of abundance inside us all along. but we've forgotten how to access it.
Exactly. And the book offers some practices to help us reconnect with that inner source. One that really resonated with me was the practice of meditation.
I've tried meditation before, but I always struggle to quiet my mind. What's the connection between meditation and abundance?
Well, I think it's about creating that inner space, that stillness, where we can connect with our deeper selves, our intuition, our wisdom.
So it's like tuning out all the external noise and distractions to hear that inner voice that knows what we truly need and desire.
Exactly. And in that quiet space, we can start to release those limiting beliefs and fears that are blocking us from experiencing true abundance.
The book also talks about the importance of aligning our actions with our values.
Yeah.
You know, it's about living authentically and making choices that feel good on a soul
All
level.
right. It's about finding that sweet spot where our passions, our talents, and our values all intersect.
Because when our actions are in alignment with our true selves, we naturally attract the right people, the right opportunities,
Yeah.
even the right resources to support us on our journey.
Precisely. It's like we become a magnet for abundance simply by being true to ourselves.
It reminds me of this line from the book, when you are living in alignment, your life becomes a symphony with every note perfectly in tune.
Oh, that's a beautiful image. It highlights the importance of self-awareness, you know? The more we understand ourselves, our values, our passions, the easier it becomes to create a life that reflects our true essence.
So it's not just about getting what we want, it's about becoming who we're meant to be.
Mm.
And when we're living in alignment with our purpose, abundance flows effortlessly into our lives.
It's like we're tapping into this universal current of energy that supports us every step of the way. But let's be honest, life doesn't always cooperate with our best intentions. Things happen. Challenges arise. Setbacks occur. How do we hold on to this abundance mindset when life throws us a curveball?
That's a great question. Because it's easy to talk about abundance when everything is going smoothly. But what about those times when we're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, maybe even a little bit lost?
That's where resilience comes in. And the book emphasizes that setbacks are inevitable. But it's how we respond to those setbacks that determines our success.
So instead of letting challenges derail us,
We can choose to view them as opportunities for growth and learning. It's about cultivating that inner strength, that flexibility that allows us to bounce back from adversity.
it's about trusting that even in the midst of difficulty, there's a lesson to be learned, a new path to be discovered, maybe even a hidden blessing waiting to be revealed.
Exactly. And that resilience is often fueled by our connection to something larger than ourselves, whether it's our community, our spirituality, or even a deep connection to nature.
It's about remembering that we're not alone in this journey. We have resources both internal and external to help us navigate those challenging times. And maybe those challenges are what help us discover the true depth of our resilience and our capacity for abundance.
It's like what doesn't break us makes us stronger, right?
Yeah.
But stronger in a way that allows us to hold even more abundance, more joy, more love in our lives.
This deep dive into the Abundance Manifesto has been so insightful. I feel like I have a whole new toolbox for cultivating abundance in my life.
Me too. And what I love about this book is that it reminds us that abundance isn't a finite resource. It's a limitless potential that's available to everyone.
It's not about hoarding or competing. It's about expanding the pie so that everyone can have a piece. It's about recognizing our interconnectedness and working together to create a world where abundance truly flows for all.
And that's a beautiful vision to hold on to.
As we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to leave you with one final thought from the Abundance Manifesto. If abundance is truly a state of mind, then the journey to abundance begins within each of us. So what choices can you make today to cultivate a mindset of abundance in your own life? Until next time, stay curious.